Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this pop-up card. Okay, it's a pile of birthday presents. You may remember my previous video, I showed you how to do the explosion pop-up card, this one. And I did say during that video that this piece here could be fitted straight into an ordinary card, but afterwards I thought that wasn't really very helpful, and I decided I'd do a video just showing you this particular part of it. I'm going to change my colour scheme. I've used Granny Apple Green on this one, and I am going to be using Blushing Bride. The designer series paper is called Tropical Escape. So I'm going to start off by telling you the pieces that you're going to be needing. I have done the metric sizing. I'm not totally confident about it, so I'm going to give you the measurements in metric this far, but for all these tiny little bits I will put them in the box below, but I'd like you to check them. Not totally happy about those, but this is fine, quite happy with this. So to start off with, you need a card base in Blushing Bride, which measures 4¼ inches by 11½ inches, scored and folded at 5 3/4, which is 10.8 by 29.2 centimetres, scored and folded at 14.6. And then you need a Whisper White card, which measures 4 inches by 11¼ inches, scored and folded at 5 5/8 inches, which is 10.2 by 28.5 centimetres, scored and folded at 14.3 centimetres. That can't be right, can it? It's got to be 28.6 centimetres and then scored at 14.3. So that's that one. And then you need a piece of Whisper White, which measures 3 7/8 inches by 5½ inches, which is 9.9 by 14 centimetres. And then you need a piece of designer series paper, which measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/8 inches, which is 9.6 by 13.7 centimetres. Right, now I'm just going down to inches, and you need all these pieces. I'll just roughly put them together so you can see where this is going. Right, so this is the levels of the cake. That's the front and that's the top of the cake. So what order have I got these in? Right, these two for the top of the cake, which I have done as the front as well. So you need two pieces that are 1 inch by 7/8 of an inch, both of them. And then you need a piece that's 1½ inches by 1 1/8 inches, and then 2 inches by 1 3/8 inches. Now all these strips, it might just have been easier to have told you to have the strips and then cut them off as we adhere them, but I've got the measurements, so I'm going to give them to you. So for the large cake, these are 3/8 of an inch. One of them is 1 3/8 inches and the other one is 2 inches. That's because I'm going to be doing the ribbon crossways like that. And then for this one, these pieces are 1/4 inch wide, and one is 1 1/2 inches and the other is 1 1/8 inches, the other way around. And this one, there are two pieces, something's wrong there, two pieces that measure 1 inch, because both pieces are going to have one going across like that, and then one piece that's 7/8 of an inch. Alright, looks like I've got some trimming up to do, but that's okay. So what shall we do first? Let's do our, oh, you also need, sorry, you need some scraps. Scraps of Whisper White, which is for the banner across there. In fact, that's all it is for, isn't it, the white? And the pink is for the balloons, hooray, the bows, and the happy birthday. And for those, the 3 words, I've used my self-adhesive, multi-purpose adhesive sheets. Right, so I have done all my stamping and die cutting first, but as usual I will do one of each. So, stamp sets that I'm going to be using. The pennant, let me show you. The pennant here comes from Pick a Pennant, so that's that one. From here I'm also using the little heart there, and that is that one. And I'm also using the bow and the infill colour, which is that and that. And the set of dies that goes with that one is called Playful Pennants. I've already taken the one out. That's the die for that. I'm also using Blow Out the Candles. I'm going to be using that balloon and also the infill. That's got a set of dies with it which still hasn't been set up correctly. This is called Candles and Confetti Framelits. So I am using that one. In fact, that was the die for the bow, which is in that set. I think, I'm sure it is. Yes. So those two, in fact you can't see up there, can you? Let me bring them down so you can. Just move that out of the way. Okay, so those are the two that's in the Playful Pennants. And that one is in the whatever and Candles and Confetti. Yep, that one there. And last but by no means least, the last stamp set is Beauty Abounds, and I use that as my background stamp, which is that one. And there's the balloon. And then finally I am using from here Happy Birthday and Hooray. And I can't, oh there they are, yep, I have got them. Okay, so that's those 3. So as I say, we do the stamping first. And I do need some scrap paper, because what I'm going to do is for the inside of my card, I am going to stamp in here before I do my cutting. As you can see, I've got the stamp as a background here. I was going to try and work out having some designer series paper that fitted around there, but just thinking about it made my head hurt, so I gave up on that idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Blushing Bride ink, but I'm going to stamp off first because I only want it very light. Just keep twisting and turning this. On the green one, I did actually do the stamping after I'd done the cutting. That's when I found out it's got to be a lot easier to do it this way round. I know some of this is going to appear on the cake, not the cake, the parcels, but a lot of the parcel is going to be covered up anyway because of the design series paper. But at least I've got a background here and it's going to stop it from being boring. Right, so that's enough for that. Do that one in a minute. That's not stamping, this one is. So what I need is, that goes on the white. Let's do that one first. What I did on this, because with my green one it was really nice and easy, I was using Granny Apple Green and also soft sea foam, but my pink, the lighter pink ink pad that I have, it's not in a fit state to be used at the moment. So what I'm doing is I'm inking this up with Blushing Bride. I am going to stamp it off and then I am stamping. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Right, I didn't get a piece that was quite the right size, but never mind. Okay, so I've done that. I've already done this and die cut it, so it's more a question of showing you what I did. That's quite clever actually, because I've got it dark at the top and light at the bottom. Right, so this is the little heart, and I'm just stamping that onto all of the little pennants down here. I think this pennant's going to survive and live for another day. I think that two tone is almost like ombre, isn't it? I think that looks nice. Okay, so that's the pennant. So put that one there and that one there. The balloons, everything else goes on pink. Now what I do with this, when I'm using just one colour, I stamp the full strength, but to colour that in, I stamp off and then I fill it in, but it's not very dark, you can't see much. So I do it 3 times. In fact, I'm going to do it 4 times this time. I must be stamping off harder than what I was doing when I was doing it beforehand. Okay, now that is a lot lighter than had I done a full strength on it, and that is what I was after. And I used my white gel pen on the balloons, and I just did a little curve there for the light shadow. What else do I need? I need 3 bows. These are what went on the parcel. Okay, put those there. So again, I'll do this full strength, and then with the infill I'm going to stamp off. And then colour that in. Do that a second time. And trying not to press too hard when I stamp off. Let's try a 4th one. Okay, so that's got a nice, that's come up a nice colour as well. Okay, so that's all the stamping that I would need to be done. I also need to prepare to do my words. Let's move that out of the way. Okay, let me bring this back as well because I will die cut that. So using the multi-purpose adhesive sheet, my sheet is almost the same size as that. So what I do is peel that off. And I have to say, I've been very good about using this more frequently recently. Now I'm going to line that up. Not very well by looks of things, never mind. Now before I cut that, you can see I've got some green down there, and you might have noticed that I've got some grey down this side, and that happens because when I trimmed this off, let's put that round that way, my scissors, my non-stick scissors, aren't happy if I cut straight through the top sheet and the glue sheet. If I go through some of the cardstock, my scissors won't get all gunked up. Okay, that's what I mean. I've got the green bit there and the pink bit. So let's just get rid of that. Get rid of that. And that's okay, as long as none of the sticky is showing. So then I'm going to take those 3 words. Those I hadn't done in advance, so I need what I actually do now. So let's move those over. Oh, I haven't prepared these properly yet, which means it's still got some sticky on the back there, which means it sticks to the surface here. Right, okay. Now the reason I've done all of those before is because these take a bit of effort to be lined up. Another tip I wanted to give you, and I don't think I've given you this one before, it's with a rubber stamp like this. Let me just clean that, because somebody asked a question on, hold on, that's it. I'm just getting a baby wipe here to clean that. Right. Somebody asked on one of the Facebook groups, how can she get her die to line up better? The die she was referring to was the stem in the, I think it was called Lily, which went with the Lasting Lily stamp set celebration. And my suggestion is, if you do, and it's normally with long thin photopolymer stamps that you have problems with, and it's because they are so flexible, when you put it on here it's not necessarily in the same position as this is. So what you should do is, once you've got that there, put your die over the top of it to make sure that it is all coming through. If it isn't, then move it so that it does come through. You should, now that I've used it, I will try this, you should actually be able to try and do it from this side, push it through from the back. This is a bit more fiddly, but you might find this one easier. If you put it in from the back, so it's all in your die correctly, and I'm not going to waste time here doing it. In fact, I think I've done it now. Yeah. Okay, so that's in the die correctly, and then all you need to do is to put it on your stamp. So when you stamp that, you know it is going to fit in there perfectly. Okay, that's today's really, really hot tip for you. So let's do these ones first. Let's bring the big shot back. Right. So if I put that one there, now I hope I can cut this properly. Let me just tip that up. Right, I'll do this one first, then I'll come back to the other two. Oh, that's not right, is it? Look at that. Right. Okay, so that's nice and easy. Okay, now that is too big for what we need, but I'm going to show you what you need to do with that. And then this one, we have the balloon and the bow. That's it. Now this isn't going to work having two pieces on one, so let me just get a post-it note to hold it in place. I'll fold that bit up as well. Sometimes with these smaller dies I find that I don't get them positioned very well, and rather than redo them, if I've got rather too much on one side rather than the other, I just trim it off rather than redo it. No, they're okay, don't mind those. Right, so that's those. Pop that over there. Now this is our sheet with our sticky on it. So I need birthday, happy and hooray. This, in fact I didn't tell you this die set, did I? I think it's well written. It's a great set, really is. Got loads of different sentiments, and this is one of those sets that I will keep forever. Even when it retires, I will still keep it. Right, I'm just going to, yeah, keep that like that for the time being, because that will be done right towards the end. Okay, so let's start doing our card now. Right, if you saw the video about the explosion card, you will know that I made myself a template. Once I had made one, I actually photocopied it so that I know how to do the next one, which is really nice and easy. And what I'm doing is I have my fold on my right hand side, and I am using my grid paper to draw my lines. So with the pencil, which I have here, I am just going to line this up anywhere, it doesn't matter, just as long as this is straight across here and this is lining up straight against there. With my ruler, this needs to be 1.5 inches in, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each square is 1/4 inch, so if I line that up there, that down there, nice and easy, straight line. The next one up is going to be 1 1/4, and that's 5 squares, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure that's all lining up and I haven't allowed this to move. And then the next one up has to be 1 inch up. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure it's all lining up there and there, still straight, and draw a line. Nice and easy. Now I need to draw some lines up here. So what I'm doing is I'm just lining it up along there, and I'm going to make sure that that is lined up as well. Now I'm going to do one side at a time. When I did this on my video, I did the bottom first and then the next one and then the next one. This one I'm going to do that one, that one, that one, and then move over that side. Right, so the first line has got to be 1 inch in, so that 4. But I've got to make sure that am I still in screen for the top? No, I'm not, am I? Let's come down a bit. So I'm lining up there and there. So 1 inch in, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And make sure that the ruler is in a straight line and lining up against that spotted line. The next section, it needs 1 space, that's 1/4 inch. And the top section is again 1 more space. So this is 1 inch, that's 1 1/4 inch, and that's 1.5 inches. That's because each of these squares is 1 inch. Now we've got to do the first one this side at 1 inch, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I just put a pencil mark there because once the ruler's in place I can't see. Okay, so that's 1 inch. Now I'm going to move over 1 square. And that's the second one. Then I'm moving over 1 square again. Make sure it's lined up top and bottom. And there we go. Okay. Now we need to do some scoring, but it is only on here and it's just using your ruler. So what we need to score is, alright, there we go, we need to score from where that line meets up with that one, so it's from there over to there, and then we need to score from there to there, and then there to there. Right, so now this one I use the smaller end. Now you're not going to make much of a impression, but as long as there's some line there that will act as a guide for you. Okay, and then the last one. There we go. So the way we cut this is, close this up again. Our first cut, we're going up this line, up as far as that line, and we're going up this line, and we're going to stop as soon as we get to that line. So just cut in a nice straight line, and then this one, nice straight line, and stop when you get to the horizontal line up there. Okay, now use your fingernails to get this to bend over. Make sure it's going up there straight. Is that straight? Let me hold that up. I think so. Right, now you need your bone folder as well to give that a burnish. Now bring it back down again. Gently open this up. Get that to separate and push that one through to the other side. Okay, then you can close your card again. There we go. Now we need to cut up that line and stop when you get to there. Cut up that line, stop when you get to there. The thing is, on this one you don't want to go through here, you've got to cut just on this bit, okay? So what you need to do is hold that. One reason is to make sure that you are only going through that one, but also so that you're keeping the back of the cake against here. If you don't hold it in place, if that gets a bit loose, then the supporting bar, the crossbar, can get misshapen. Yep, I've done it. There we go, that's one. Again, carry on holding it, don't let it start wandering about, and then cut a straight line, not your fingers. There we go. And then fold that, your fingernails in place, and then fold that on your score line. Oh, that looks straighter. Give that a good burnish. Gently open it up and then push that one through to the other side. Okay, and then it will close down again. Now you need to cut on that line and on that line until you reach the crossbar there. Again, only go through this one here. Don't cut that, don't cut that. There we go. Now, fingernails, so that you can fold in your score line. Make sure it goes up nice and straight. There we go. Then gently open it up again and push that through. And again, you'll be able to fold your card back down again. Okay, so you'll finish up with either a cake or a pile of presents. Okay, ours is presents. Right, so it's easier to decorate this while it's still outside of the card. So what I am going to try this time as well is I am going to adhere these on while it's off the card. It was more difficult once I put that on first, and then I was having to do this bit and that bit, and then I found that I needed to trim some bits because some were a bit longer than they should be, and I've forgotten to bring over my silicone sheet. Excuse me, I must get that. I can't work without that. Right, here we go. Right, okay. So let's do the big one first. And it looks like I haven't removed all my pencil marks, so I'll put glue on those. Right, so this one first. As long as you do either all the horizontals or all the verticals the same first. Let's rephrase that. If you make your horizontal like this, your first one that you lay down, make sure that you do it the first one for all of your parcels. Oops. So there's that. Well, I'm not going to turn that over because I can see the pencil mark from here. Right, and once you've done that, you can also put your bow on there as well. You don't have to make sure that this crossbar is right in the centre. I try and make sure that mine just looks good. Right, so got that one there, and that one. Any pencil marks? Don't think so. Yes. So we're doing the horizontals first. That was a little bit short. That's because it should have been for the top. Oh, don't worry about it. You do too much damage. It's such a little bit too short. This one obviously is going to be way, way too big, too long. So let's just cut that off. There we go. Pop that straight into the bin. And the bow. And right, we have two here, so one is going to be going across the top. Let me just make sure which way is the longer way. I think the longer one is up that right way, isn't it? Oh, that's the lower one. Right, they're both that way. That one's going to have one piece, like that. And this is going to have like that and like that. I did another one of these on Monday, or was it Sunday? Anyway, whenever it was, I made it as a wedding card, and inside it was a cake. So I will show you that. Oh yeah, I can see it, yeah. Again, I used the same, I'm blotting my bits that I'm putting too much glue on. That's why my arm keeps going over there. Forgot what I was going to say then. I know it was about the wedding cake, the wedding card. I think I was going to say that I've used the same dies, the well said dies. Alright, so there's that one. Let's do this one. And that's got to go that way. And the bow. Right. I really must try and remember to clean my tweezers. Right, now I'm going to pop these on. There's that one, and that one. And I have to be careful because I've got my bows on, so there's a right way and a wrong way now. we go. Right, so that's the all the parcels. Now I want the banners. Now, as you can see, that's just a tad too long. There's no room to get any straight across there. So what I did on that one, because I wanted to have a bit of just the string on its own, in fact what I will do is I will just glue the ends down on that, just to hold that. I don't want them getting caught and all wrapped up. So what I did, I just went along one of these, but no, I cut that bit first, didn't I? Okay, so I carried the V up, and then I carried on with a straight line until that pennant dropped off. Okay, that's it. Then that just gets cut off once it's adhered on there. Now I've put dimensionals on these. These little minis are absolutely ideal for these little pennants here. So much nicer than having to stop and cut bits and pieces. There we go. I'm going to put these a bit lower than I did the last ones. I thought the last ones were a bit high. There we go. Just trying to make sure that the length of the string either side is about the same. Oops. It's probably not very level. I can just undo 3 and bring that up a little bit. There we go. And then turn it over and just cut those bits off. Right, so all we need to do is to pop that back, not back, pop it into the card. Right, so that should just slot in like that. And you should finish up with a nice gap all the way round. And until we put the front on, it doesn't matter which is the back or the front. So I'm just going to put some Tombow all the way round. Right. So, I found it was easier to put the non-sticky side down first. If you do that, okay, because I got the glue here, so that's not got anything on it at all, so I can move it around much as I like at the moment. Make sure the gaps are about the same. Make sure that that looks straight down there. Just move that over slightly. Right, and then make sure that this is right up to the folds here as well. Okay, and when you're happy with that, bring that over so that gets glued down nicely. Okay, let's give that a little bit of a press. Now, with that folded down, and glue the rest of it. But don't go on the inside there, you don't want to glue your parcels down. Okay, and bring that over. Make sure you can open your card. And close it. Oh, I've got some glue there. Right, let's get that off first. And that's better. Right, so this is the front of my card. So I'm going to put these two pieces on there. Let's put this one on first. Okay, turn that one over. Again, this doesn't matter which way up it goes. And I can see a pencil mark down there as well. There we go. Right, okay, so that's that. Now all we need to do is we need to pop our balloons on. Actually, I've got 4 now, haven't I? Well, I'll only use 3. And I am going to put dimensionals on. I should have brought my big ones over. One big one would have been enough. How far did I go? No, it went about there. And what I'm also going to do, which I haven't done on that one yet, is I'm going to put a bit of Tombow under there, just to hold that down. It's a much easier option than trying to get a very, very thin bit of dimensional under there. In fact, what I'm going to do, it'd be a lot easier, is I'm just going to put a little bit of Tombow there. Right, now I can just put some on there, blot it off. Oops. And then the third one. Right, that's fine. Now I've got, I put hooray on the front, so let's get those over. Right, this is the first one. Right, it's already, the backing has already been pulled off. All the inside bits have been left in there, which is good. I can sort that out when I'm tidying up. As you can see, I'm not putting Tombow on this like I did the last one. The reason being, since I made that video, I've used this and it hasn't come unstuck. So I put that there, don't you come forward. So first of all we want happy. Okay, so that brought the bits up with it. In fact, let's put it on there. Oops. Okay. What I will be doing to this happy birthday is I will be, in fact I wonder if I should have done it now. I was going to say I'm going to be painting it with my Wink of Stella. Let me see if I can, a bit too late to do those two, but yes, I should have done it on here, shouldn't I? Much easier. The thing is with Wink of Stella, it makes it go that little bit darker, and it's disappearing on here, so it will be more visible once I've painted it. You'll be able to see that on the video is going to be going live tomorrow, which means tomorrow's blog I'll have photographs, so you'll be able to see how much more definite it stands out. This needs to be squeezed again, but I don't want to do it in the middle of a job because sometimes I squeeze too hard and it comes out really, really heavy. I'd much rather be patient with it and just keep going over it and build up the shimmer and the shine. There we go. Again, I'll do that one later on as well. Right, here we go. Must remember that I've got to get the dot for the letter I. Right, I've got the bit for the H. Right. Yeah, that looks good. Right, can I get this? Oh yes, easy. There we go. Well, I hope I haven't undone the sticky on that. Well, there we go. Yep, that's about it. Let's move all this out of the way first. So there we go. I have seen several other different kind of pop-up cards, which if I see something that's different from actually doing this shape, I will certainly make a video of it. And the wedding card that I said that I'd made, this was, the base of it was soft sky. Because I was experimenting, I was using a retired colour, but then it would have been such a waste not to have finished it off. Much easier doing it as a cake, far less work decorating it. And on this one I stamped the flowers around, and all of those have been painted with Wink of Stella as well. The sentiment is, may all your tomorrows be as happy as today, which I thought was rather nice. If you want to know where the products, what products I've used, they'll be on the blog for, it was either Monday, no, it was Monday morning, yeah. So there we go, there's the pop-up card. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I really hope you give it a try. All the measurements and the products I've used and score lines and such like will be in the box below the video, which you can access if you're watching this on YouTube. If you have any questions or comments to make, please leave those in the box below. I'm always happy to help you, and I always find it interesting to read your feedback. If you'd like to be notified each time I upload a new video, which is normally Wednesdays and Sundays, please click on the subscribe button, which is down there in the corner, and also click on the bell as well to say that you want the notifications. Finally, I have a Facebook group called Happy Crafting, which is for all crafters to share any projects that they've made, and I'd love to see you over there. There's a link to the Facebook group below. It's called Happy Crafting. And did I say that there's a link down there also for my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop, so that you can buy any of the products that I featured here today. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.